Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It is Hunter and today we're going to be looking at and setting up and doing a demo of the new for 2024 Michael Myers animatronic. Alright, so now that you got to see my new intro, which I just did today, I've been trying to figure something out with that, but I think I've landed on something that I like. So yeah, let's get into the setup. But before I start setting everything up, I'm going to show you all the parts and pieces. Alright, so let's start over here. So we have one of the arms. This is the knife arm. Now, as you can see, the head looks different. Mine, I had put on the Halloween 2 mask. I really like this mask compared to what the original mask was. I don't have the original mask on it, obviously, because I did not like it at all. The hair is much better on this one. And I also use my Halloween Ends mask, which is up there. So I use it from time to time. So that's that head. And you can also go check out my video on the servo motor for it. Mine just recently stopped working, and then I fixed it. So all you really got to do is there's some screws there, and then I'll show you so then you guys know. Then there's some screws back there that you're gonna have to unscrew, and then you'll be able to fix it from there. And then you can go watch my video as well if you need any more help. And then we have the sensor here. I don't remember when I got mine if it was already connected in the suit or not. So you might have yours detached or it might be already in the jumpsuit. Then we have the static arm. We have the static hand here. Looks pretty good. It has some pretty good detail. Looks pretty lifelike. They maybe could have done the shading on it, put some shadows and stuff, but for what it is, pretty good. Then we have the knife, which is the one that moves. So that's that. We have the hip loop, which should have two little oval pieces to protect the mechanism. One straight pull and one knee bent pull. We have the mechanism with a control box attached to it. I'll go over everything that it does later. This is the, I guess you could call it the body form, I guess. This is just to protect all the wires and stuff like that from getting caught on any of the clothing. Come over here. We have the shoulder frame right there. That is the stabbing mechanism. The power adapter. The base. The clothing. It's kind of all jumbled up there, but then we have the shoes, which are kind of dusty, and then the two other legs, which are very confusing, but I'll explain them to you once we get into the setup. So, alright, so now let's get into the setup. So the first two poles that you are going to need are these two poles. You're going to need one straight one and one that kind of has a little bend in it. So, always you're going to locate the one that has the hole in it with the pin, and that one is going to go in the front. Now, I know you can't see the base at this point, but I'm going to make sure that I let you know how to connect everything and tell you, even though I can't show you. So once you get down to the front pole there, you're just going to want to push the pin in and push the pole down, and you should hear a snap. And then you're basically just going to do the same for this pole. Now, on the back here, the leg is going to look bent. I'm going to pick this up so you guys can see. So you may think that this would be the front where this part is bent, but he'd be really short. But it actually goes in the back. So the straight pole is in the front, and this bent one is in the back. And you can also tell which way the base goes by the little square loops right here, and they'll face the front. So that's how you can know what way the base goes. So this is what your base should look like right at the moment. So now what we can do is we can put on the shoes. I believe there is a right and left. Maybe not. I don't know. This one, I don't know. This one looks like a right. And then you're just going to slide it over both of the poles there. I'm working with a pretty tiny space right now just because I have so much and then everything behind me, but I just want to give people stuff to look at. So I kind of had a background so it's not just so blank. So I'm going to stand up here. This is what your base should look like. It has both the shoes on it, just like so. Now what we can do is we can slide the clothing over top of it. Now the clothing it's pretty big. He is, I want to say, 6'2", I'm pretty sure. So like once you get everything on there, like he's covering up me right now, like where his clothing is. So what you can do is take this. Now, I don't remember. Okay, so there is going to be like this thigh kind of piece here. That is just to give the costume extra padding, so then it looks more human-like, less than just the metal frame itself. So then you're going to slide the clothing right over those two poles that I just showed you how to put on. It is going to be a little bit of a stretch to kind of get them over, but that is okay. You're just going to make sure they're somewhat visible so then you can slide the other poles on there. So, next you're going to grab these two poles. They're very wonky poles. So I will note that one way that I know how to put them on is this one with the little metal frame around it here. This one goes to the front because that is to form the knee. So what you're going to do is snap that into place. You're going to slide it on and then push the pin in, and you should hear a little snap, and then do the same for the back. So this should line up just like that. And then you are going to snap it into place. Now, I know you guys may be thinking, well, Hunter, how do you know this is how it's supposed to go? Because it looks like you're building an animatronic with two animatronics with one leg themselves. Well, I couldn't really give you an answer why they chose to do it like this. They could have done a different design, but I think this bent here is to form the butt a little bit, I think. And I don't really have an answer why they wouldn't have just given you a simpler design to put it together so it's not so confusing. Because when I first set it up, it was very confusing and I did not know how to do it. So now that you guys know how to do it properly, feel free to go back into my video and look how to put the poles on if needed. So now what you can do is you can pull the clothing up, and you are just going to want to be really careful that nothing gets caught on the poles there. And then once you get to this point, you just keep pulling everything up, and everything should sit like right about here. So yeah, now what we can do, almost knocking boxes over, is we can grab the body frame here. Now you do want to be careful because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's the body turn mechanism, which is right here. If you did see my other Beetlejuice video, my setup video, he has the exact same motor. It's exact same pieces and everything. So I'm gonna do a close up of what everything looks like here. I don't know if you guys can see that, just like that, right about there. So this is what the box is. There's the volume control, the adapter place, on, off, and step pad, our sensor, speaker jack, and that looks to be about it. This is the front. That's what the body turn mechanism looks like. So yeah, that is the basically the hip kind of area. Now for me, let me know down in the comments if you guys have the Michael Myers animatronic, and if when you try to slide your mechanism on, if it's hard or if it's really easy to come on and off. Because mine is, I can't remember. This is my first time setting it up again. Okay, yeah, so it goes on pretty easily, but taking it off was really hard. I was at least sitting here for 5 minutes trying to get this thing off because it would not budge. I had to my trick is if there's enough room under this metal piece, make a fist and just push the pin in and go and just smash your hand up real fast. And normally there's enough energy to push the whatever you're trying to get off. So just letting you know that's a trick that I use, but do be careful. You could possibly break the animatronic. Just a warning. But yeah, so now that you have this on, there should be 3 wires coming out of the control box, and then 1 coming out of the body frame, which you can actually attach right now. So there's a thicker wire that has a whole bunch of cords there, and then it's like I'm trying to see what color. It's gray, yellow, blue, green, white, and red. That's the colors that you're going to look for, and you're just going to attach those. It's pretty hard to miss. I'm pretty sure that they already come attached, but I just attached mine so then you guys knew how to connect it. But then you should still have two other wires there that are open. I believe one is for the head, one is for the arm, I believe, and then there's a spot in the control box for the IR sensor. So now that we have that done, we are going to fix the clothing. I'm just going to do that. Now I'm going to grab the hip loop, and this one is pretty easy to put on. It's self-explanatory. There's a square little spot that it slides into, and a push pin so it doesn't fall out. Just like that. Sometimes I'm a little rough with the animatronics just because the thing doesn't go in. So if you see me bash the thing in, I'm very careful. By the way, I'm not trying to break the animatronics because I pay a lot of money for these things. But if you do see me do that, be warned, I do not beat my animatronics up. So now that we have that done, I can pull the clothing up over here. I don't know if it will come up right at the moment, just because there's no elastics or anything that really attaches it here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna stay up, so we'll just leave it like so. So now what we can do is we are gonna take this body frame here, and I'm gonna bring it up close so I can show you the mechanism for the stabbing motion. So basically, make sure you guys can see that right a bit there. The camera's kind of focusing on the back. I'm trying to. It's not really focusing up here on the front, but I'm trying to show you guys what there we go. The motor looks like. That's what it looks like. That is the whole frame itself. And then there's the little plastic piece that moves the arm. So it's a square pole. It should face this way. So this pole with a screw on the back should kind of face that way. You're just gonna push this, pull down, and should snap in pretty easily. Now you can go ahead and attach this. I want to say it's orange and pink. I'm partially colorblind, so if I get your colors mixed up for you, my apologies. So this is gonna snap in like that, and now that's all the wires that you need to do so far. And then this one is for the head, which at the end where I show you the demo with the lights on and lights off, the head looks really great, and I'm thinking about possibly just putting like black air dry clay behind it, so then it looks like you can't see his eyes, even though the eyes are definitely creepy because they look like they're actually following you. In the movies, it says that Michael's eyes are like the devil's eyes and that they're like the blackest of black. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm not fully sure. Obviously, this animatronic could be a little bit harder to sell, seeing as I've already taken off the mask from the animatronic itself, and I could put it back on, but I'd have to say that I've taken the mask off already, and I've had problems with the head. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm just trying to be very precise on letting you know how to put the animatronic together himself. So now that we have that, I think we're gonna put the shoulder frame on. This thing is pretty heavy duty here. There's a lot of poles. One thing that I do like that Spirit does is they make one thicker pole and one thinner pole, so you can't put it in backwards really. But another way you could tell is I kind of like to call this like the bird beak here, or like the bill of the frame here. You just know that goes in the front. So, oops. So you're just gonna slide that in, both the poles, and it just sits there. There's no snap locks or anything like that. Just gonna make sure my mic. All right, I think we're good. Okay. I just wanted to be sure that my mic was still on because I've definitely had troubles with that before, where my mic shuts off or dies halfway through my video, and then I gotta refilm it. So I just wanted to make sure that it was still on. So I'm gonna cut actually, and I'm gonna have the body form on for you. All right, so now I have the body form on. So there's gonna be two holes for the arms here, and all you're gonna want to do is there's just Velcro on the back, and you don't got to slide it over or anything. It opens completely on the back, and you just slide it over and Velcro it. So now I believe, just trying to think, because normally when I do my videos, I just kind of go off the whim because I do this so much and I watch enough videos to just know how to put it together. But this is like, I want to say like my third or fourth time putting this animatronic together, so I gotta do it a couple more times and I'll have the hang of it. But I'm gonna slide the costume over right here. Actually, yeah, okay, that's what we're gonna want to do. Slide it up. The body form is not gonna be perfect. It's gonna fly around a little bit. You're just gonna pull the clothing up over there. Oh, there we go. Okay. So as you can see, he's really tall. Like, just a little bit taller than his shoulders there. But once his head gets on there, yeah, he's taller than me. So yeah, so once you have this done, you're gonna have the clothing up like so, and you're gonna want to grab the IR sensor. One thing that I've definitely had problems with before is the cap of the sensor here. Let's see if you guys can see that there. It's a little kind of hard. Oh, there we go. Okay, that little black cap right there, it tends to pop off. So just be warned, try not to swing the thing around and drop it and stuff because it could break and then you're missing the cap. So we're gonna attach this. So there's a little piece of Velcro here. And one thing that I do like that they incorporated with the animatronic is not only the gunshot wounds, is really cool that they did that. If you pay really close attention to the movies and the animatronic itself, it's pretty close besides the mask. And the music to the animatronic is not the best. But it's just a little Velcro piece that goes right there. And then the sensor comes through the little gunshot wound, which I really like because, you wouldn't think to find it there, and it's really well hidden. Some of Spirit animatronics don't have it as well hidden as others. So what you can do is just slide this right up through to the back of the mechanism there. So I'm going to spin them around. So, one thing that I do like is the little flap, the butt flap right here, so you can access all of this mechanism and stuff like that. So you're just gonna take this cord and plug it into there. Make sure the volume's up nice. And while we're at it, I'm gonna plug in the adapter, which goes right up in here. I would say normally I would run it through the pants, but since the adapter, it's not crazy long compared to some of the other adapters that I have for animatronics, which sucks because, sometimes you want the length for the animatronic, but sometimes they're really short, and this one is really short, so I gotta run it out of the flap there. So we're gonna spin them back around. Okay, so now we have all this did up. We can go ahead and start with the arms. So we are going to grab this arm. This one has the 2 hooks on it, so this is the static arm. And you are just going to run it up his sleeve. And let me know how your guys' Halloween season was. My season was pretty good. I did my yard haunt on the weekends, as you could see by some of my videos. And I want to say thank you very much to everybody who watched my last video. It got 2,000 views on it, so I'm very appreciative of that. And it's nice to see a lot more people coming in and watching my videos, being a small-time YouTuber, especially a Canadian YouTuber, because most of the big fancy-time YouTubers are all in the US, which sucks because you don't see that many Canadian YouTubers, not only just Canadian, but Halloween YouTubers. Alright, let's see if I can jiggle this thing in. It is not going in. Come on. Come on. Holy. Come on. There we go. We did it. Bravo. Alright, so we got that arm on now. We're going to grab the knife arm, do the exact same thing for that. And if you have any questions about your Michael Myers animatronic, like if you're having problems with the motor or anything like that, please do let me know in the comments, and I can possibly figure it out for you. And I can more than likely give you a solution why the animatronic may not be working. Like if you have problems with the hips and stuff like that, one of the main reasons is there's a little rubber band in there, and most of the time they snap, and you just have to open up the little mechanism, replace it. You can get a pack of them on Amazon for like at most $20, but they're like there's a lot of them. And you just put it back around and it'll start working again. My problem was the servo head, and there's a little black screw that you have to screw in with an Allen key, and it was just attached and the screw wasn't screwed in tight enough. So all I had to do was pop it back in and tighten it, and the head worked again. Thankfully, because I was gonna have to contact the Zombie Tech Squad to get it fixed. But I'm glad I opened my head up, and not my head, but his head up, and yeah, seen the problem with it. So once you get the arm on there, there's a little square there with a little push pin there, and you just snap it right in, just like so. Now we can put the arms on. We're going to do the knife arm. This one is different than the static one. This one has a little pole on it with a little hole as well, so it snaps on. Just seeing as it's moving, right? You know, you don't want that to fall off. I really wish that back in 2018, because I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I used to be terrified of Halloween. I could not do it. I couldn't even go trick or treating because all the scary decorations. And I've been doing Halloween since I was like maybe 8 years old, and I started off with like the dollar store kind of stuff, and then worked my way up to the animatronics and the more scary stuff.
Are you serious?
Seeing as like my scarecrow here, this is my buddy Jim, and so yeah, definitely if you're starting out as like a small time haunter, start with the cheap stuff. Like even though at the time it was kind of frustrating not to be able to have this cool stuff, I knew at some point in my life that I'd have, this kind of big stuff, and which I do now. Like just this year, I think I got like 5 animatronics, which you can basically see all my setup videos for them here. Henry Hustle, I don't know if you can see him. I have yet to do a video on him, but I will be doing a video on him and some of the problems that I had with him and how to fix them. But I really like Henry Hustle. I've wanted him for a while, and one of my buddies, Andrew, you check him out on Facebook, the New Maryland Halloween House. He does a great yard haunt, and he raises money for different charities. So I asked him if he'd be possibly willing to sell the Henry Hustle, and he said, yep. So I went and picked that up the other week before Halloween, I believe. And then the claw machine, I forget what it's called. I always know the names of the animatronics. It's right here, I'm pretty sure. Skill Crane. That's what it is. And that one's a really good one for a jump scare, especially for the circus. And I got that one because my drop down scarecrow broke, which really sucked because I really like that animatronic. But I replaced it with the Skill Crane. I still like it. Still got the good jump scare. It's definitely really cool. It's definitely a different one compared to just the clowns themselves. But I really like the clowns. Enough with the talking stuff. Let's move back into the Michael Myers setup.
Okay.
So once you have the hand on there, you can just slide the sleeve over, and there's a piece of Velcro. This one just has 2 prongs on it there, and you're just gonna roll the sleeve up, find the little holes there, and there we go. Slide it in, put the Velcro back over it. Just like that. Alright, now time for the head. I really do wish that back in 2018, because we had the 2018 Spirit Acres Farm, I was able to see it, but I was way too scared to actually walk up to any of the animatronics, because at that time, that was the age when I slowly kind of started getting into the animatronics and stuff. But that was my favorite like year out of all of them, to be honest. Um, but I just wish I could have witnessed it and got that H2O Michael Myers. But I'm glad that they made another one because I love Michael Myers. So I'm glad that they made another one for this year. All right. So there's a little metal pole in the head there, and you're just gonna want to slide it into the black little slot, and then there's gonna be a screw on the back, which you can use a screwdriver for. Um, it doesn't bother me too much if it's not like screwed in or anything. I'm not fully sure if it like affects the animatronic in any way. Um, uh, I hope not, because that would suck. Um, but then you can button up his little shirt here, that, and then we only have one more step, and then we are done basically. All right, so I'm gonna flip him around. Right, we're gonna open up this flap again. You're just gonna have to reach up his shirt, and there's gonna be the cord from his head. That's the servo that you're just gonna wanna grab, and then find the cord that is not attached, which is gotta get down. Oh, right here. Okay, so this cord is all right. Sorry about that, everybody. My storage ran out on my phone after all my videos that I take and all that kind of stuff. There's so much that adds up on my phone, and sometimes I just forget to delete things that I already post that I don't need anymore. So cut out, just as I was telling you, that you just have to take the wire from his head and connect it into the wire in from the control box, and you're just going to want to connect those. But I was saying before that I'm going to do a close up and just talk to you about the animatronic itself, things that I like, things I don't like. All right, let's get into it. All right, so one thing that I do like, even though it didn't come on the animatronic itself, is the mask that I put on it. It looks really good. I kind of like the way it looks right now. It kind of looks like he's clenched up and like he's kind of scared, like he's trying to like hold back, almost like when you're cold and you put your shoulders up to try to keep warm. Kind of like that. I like that way that he's looking at the moment. On this mask, it looks great. The hair is much better than my Halloween 1 mask that I have. Um, the details on the hands are pretty good. They're not bad. I do like the veins. They look pretty well realistic. They definitely could have painted like the thumbnails a little bit better and stuff like that, but that's things that like I can fix if I really want to. Um, I really do like the gunshot wounds there, and the sensor that is in the gunshot wound. They did a really good job on that. It looks wonderful. Um, and just his overall like appearance. Like if I seen this at nighttime, like I think I'd be a little bit freaked out. And he was, I could maybe put like make some kind of head that goes right there, so it looks like he's like stabbing into the head and like taking its brains out or something like that. I don't know. But some things that I don't like was obviously the mask itself. The original mask was terrible. I can show you back here. That's what it was supposed to look like, but mine did not look like that. It looked like, I guess you could say Justin Bieber. um, but really, I don't have much else to say about um, anything bad about the animatronic, I guess. Most of it is all good. I really like the animatronic. I guess maybe another thing would be like the music. I wish they would have done um, like the original Halloween music, but I don't think that they actually licensed the animatronic himself. It just says Halloween 2 on it, and that it's Michael Myers. So they just kind of use like a rip off soundtrack. But I guess if you really wanted to, you could get a speaker and play like a 10-hour John Carpenter's Halloween theme song and just turn his volume down. Have that behind him. So you could do that if you really wanted to. But let's get into the demo. So I have an extension cord right back here. And one other thing that I like to notice, just look at my awesome setup that I did. Did this for my video. So we got Henry Hustle over here. Love him. He looks awesome. So I had to fix his cards because they were really bent. So I laminated them. And this one's very burnt. And then this leg down here, the weld is broken on it. But it still stands and it works perfectly fine. So I love it. And this is my boy Jim, my dummy that I have under it. That guy, his name is Socks because I always have socks on him, and I never had a name for him, so I named him Socks. Then we got some of my boxes. We got Beetlejuice, the stuffed dummy. Got the cremator down there. Then we got the Michael Myers. Then we have the Skill Crane, which I decorated nice and stuff. It's kind of hard to see his eyes down there with unless you're like a little kid, like right here. But being a teenager and looking down, you can't see his eyes. But it's really great detail on it. Just kind of want to touch on it. The claw's cool. And then obviously I had the box for that down there as well. But yeah, that's my whole background kind of area there. So let's get on to the demo. Now, plug this in here. Do that with one hand. There goes his head. It fixes himself. So that was it, Michael Myers light-time demo. Let's move on to the nighttime demo. Alright, everybody, thank you very much for watching my how to set up your Michael Myers animatronic. I really appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.